Bonjour, hello and welcome to our first lesson, Learning French Online. French has never been any better than this, and I am very happy to welcome you to this course. I know that you're going to enjoy it. As you can see on the screen, we introduce you in your first lesson. We are already introducing you to your first French words. The first word we want to introduce you to is bienvenue. Bienvenue. I'm sure you must have heard this before if you've been interested in French. If not, then bienvenue simply means welcome. Now, this is dossier zero. This one here, dossier zero, it simply means like the pre-chapters or chapter 0 or file 0, like the beginning, the very beginning of this course. Nous découvrons le français. We are discovering French. We are discovering French. That's what that means. Now, something that I would like to share with you is that we will not take too long to introduce you to French. On your first lesson, you are going to listen to French, and by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to do two things. You'll be able to introduce yourself, say what your name is, and ask the other person what their name is. That is very, very important. You'll be able to do that. But first things first. If you look at this screen, you'll see these guys here. Very, very happy to welcome you to this class. This guy is saying bonjour. And this lady is saying je m'appelle Irina. Et toi? And the guy is saying salut. Salut simply means like hi. And the lady is saying je m'appelle Irina. Et toi? My name is Irina. And you? And the guy is saying, bonjour, hello. Now, let's go to our first task here. Répondre au téléphone dans 6 langues. Responding to telephone in 6 languages. Look at these images. There are 6 of them. Image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you able to recognize the languages here? I mean, this is a person talking on phone, or there are different people actually talking on phone. Excuse me. Now, the first assignment here is: are you able to identify French out of these 6? Which one is French? And if you are able to identify French, are you able to identify the other languages as well? We have options here. The languages that you need to identify from these images are l'anglais, l'allemand, l'espagnol, le français, le portugais, le polonais. I'll read them again. L'anglais, l'allemand, l'espagnol, le français, le portugais, le polonais. These are 6 languages that correspond to these images. Now, the first task, the first assignment. The first task for you here is to link the language to the image. You can use your dictionary to find out what is l'anglais, what is l'allemand, what is l'espagnol, what is le français, what is le portugais, and what is le polonais. That is the first task. You can pause this video and do that task. Then you play on. Alright, I hope you are able to identify the languages and you are able to get the meaning of the languages that were on the right side of the page. Now, let's look at this. There are 2 images here, 2 photos. Photo A and photo B. Now, if you look at them keenly, you will realize that either these 3, this lady here is talking to these 2 ladies and 1 gentleman, and either her story is very interesting or she is new to them and she's introducing herself and saying very interesting things about herself. Look at image 2, the second photo. This lady also looks very, very kind. She looks like a nice lady. And she also has a posture of somebody either presenting herself, introducing herself to to people for the first time, and trying to say something a little more about herself. Now, I will play an audio here. And in the audio, there are two dialogues. There will be dialogue 1 and dialogue 2. By the way, dialogue in French is dialogue. And I would want you just to pay attention. I know you may not get the words that you will hear from that, from the two dialogues, but then don't worry. We are just introducing your ears to the French words for the first time. So what is important right now is to be able to grasp the sound of certain words. So let's listen to this.
Dossier 0. Nous découvrons le français.
Dossier 0. Nous découvrons le français. You remember we said that in the first part. Dossier 0 is this chapter. Nous découvrons le français. We are discovering French. Is the heading of this chapter.
Leçon 1. Bienvenue.
Leçon 1. Bienvenue. You remember the bienvenue word? Yes, that is the title of this lesson today. Bienvenue. Welcome.
Activité 2.
Activité 2. Activité is activity. In French, you say activité. 2 is 2, so it is activity 2.
Dialogue 1.
Dialogue 1. Dialogue is dialogue in English. And 1 is 1. So dialogue 1 is dialogue 1. So let's listen to the first dialogue. It may not necessarily be this first image. That is the task that you'll do later on. But this is the first dialogue. Just listen to it.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Marie. Et vous? Vous vous appelez comment?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Irina. Et toi? Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle Christina.
Dialogue 2.
Second
Et
dialogue.
vous? Vous vous appelez comment?
Je m'appelle Rodrigo.
Comment il s'appelle?
Il s'appelle Rodrigo.
So, were you able to identify any of the words that you already know or you've heard? Good. Now, let's look at the dialogue. We have dialogue 1 here. This is the dialogue 1. And we have dialogue 2. So now, this is what these people are talking about. Bonjour, je m'appelle Marie. Et vous? Bonjour, as I said, is hello. Sometimes people say bonjour means good morning. But literally, it means hello. And you can use it either in the morning or in the afternoon. And even late in the afternoon. Je m'appelle Marie. My name is Marie. Et vous? And you? Vous vous appelez comment? What is your name? Bonjour, je m'appelle Irina. Hello, my name is Irina. Et toi? And you? I will tell you the difference between et toi and et vous, and yet they mean the same thing. And you? Comment tu t'appelles? What is your name? And again, comment tu t'appelles and comment vous vous appelez means the same thing. I will tell you the difference later. But just get one of them for the time being. Je m'appelle Christina. My name is Christina. Dialogue 2. The second dialogue. Et vous? Vous vous appelez comment? And you? What is your name? Je m'appelle Rodrigo. My name is Rodrigo. Comment il s'appelle? What is his name? Il s'appelle Rodrigo. His name is Rodrigo. So, I want to play these the two dialogues again one more time. And I want you to track these words with your eyes and see if you are able to follow as they speak. And thereafter, you can replay that video and try to read the dialogue by yourself.
Dossier 0. Nous découvrons le français. Leçon 1. Bienvenue. Activité 2. Dialogue 1.
I hope you understood that was just the introduction. So the dialogue begins now.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Marie. Et vous? Vous vous appelez comment?
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Irina. Et toi? Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle Christina.
Dialogue 2.
Et vous? Vous vous appelez comment?
Je m'appelle Rodrigo.
Comment il s'appelle?
Il s'appelle Rodrigo.
Yeah, now try to read the dialogue by yourself and see if you're able to speak the same way that they're speaking. Okay, now that you've been able to do that, let's pay attention to the verb that we have used today. We have used this verb here, and I hope you understand what a verb is. In English, sometimes they say it is a doing word. It's the word that describes the action. So, je m'appelle Marie. Vous appelez comment? Je m'appelle Irina. Tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle. So, this appeler is used here so many times. And in French, there is what we call conjugation. So that you take a verb and make it suitable for use. For example, in English, you'd say, to walk. That is the verb. But for you to use it, you must be able to conjugate it so that you would say, I walk, you walk, he walks, they walk. That is what is called conjugation. So you would do the same in French. Now look at this part here. We are now going to focus on the language. So présenter, to present oneself or to introduce oneself. Dire son prénom, to say one's first name. Demander le prénom, to ask somebody for their first name. Observer, observe this. And you can see that this is in red. The verb itself is in red to indicate to you how the conjugation has happened. Now, how would you be able to find this verb appeler? If, let's say, you were to look for it in the dictionary, you'll find in most cases it would be written like this. It's appeler. But now what happens when you conjugate French verbs is that you would remove the R. We are not going to go into details about this conjugation now. This is something that we will learn later on. And so we'll simply say that pay attention to the way that it changes. Before we get to that, there is something that is worth mentioning here. Let's come back to this. The pronouns. It's very important to learn about the pronouns. Now, for the pronouns, we have a pronoun je. This in English is an equivalent of I in English. Je. Tu. Tu means you. But then you also have vous, which I will be able to show. I will tell you the difference between those two. So you also have nous, which means we. And you have vous, which means you, but you in plural, like you are addressing somebody. You, not somebody, but people, more than one person. And then you have il. Il means they. sorry, this, my screen is running out of space. Let's write it up here. So we have il, which means they, but it means they masculine. Masculine. That means you are referring to they, and these they are actually masculine or male. Then you have el, which means they, but it is they feminine. So you'd be talking about maybe they ladies for that matter. Now, so I say that you can use vous and you can use tu. Now, when you say tu, which means you can also use vous, but it does not necessarily have to be many people. It could be one person. In French, you can address one person that you respect, or a stranger that you really don't even know the relationship between you and them, because they're strangers anyway, so you must show respect. You cannot address them as tu. You will use vous. So vous you can use when you're addressing many people, or you're addressing somebody that you have to show respect to. Not your age mate, and not somebody younger than you. You cannot use vous if you are addressing somebody younger than you. That would look funny or sound funny, because they are the ones who are supposed to use vous towards you and not the other way around. We'll come back to that later on. It was just a point to note. At this moment, we just want to look at appeler. So the verb itself is this: s'appeler. We remove the R, and then the changes take place like this. So for je, once you only remove the R. So you'd say je m'appelle Marie. Tu t'appelles. For tu, there is S. For il, there's no S. So these are things that just note down somewhere in your notebook, and when we come back to learn about verbs, you'll be able to understand what the whole story is about. Right now, it's not a must that you have to understand the conjugation. It's not what we were looking after today. What is important to note is that if you want to introduce yourself, you say je, that means I. So you say je m'appelle. Right now, I'm sure you can be able to introduce yourself. Can you say your name now? For example, say, my name is Vitalis, so I would say je m'appelle Vitalis. Say yours. And then, if let's say you are introducing yourself to another peer or a friend, or not really a friend, because a friend should be able to know you, but somebody who's your age mate. So you say what your name is, and then you ask them, and you? So you would say, for example, I would say, je m'appelle Vitalis, et toi? Et toi means, and you? And I would follow it with the question, what is your name? And you? What is your name? Et toi? Comment tu t'appelles? So I would say, je m'appelle Vitalis, et toi? Comment tu t'appelles? So this one now is to you. I will say my name and ask you what your name is. Je m'appelle Vitalis. Et toi? Comment tu t'appelles? Answer me. And then, in your response, of course, you'd only say, je m'appelle. And you say your name. You don't need to ask me et toi, because I've already told you. Now, this is about, il s'appelle is about the third party, a third person. So, you would ask, what is his name, or what is her name? And then you would respond and say, his name is Rodrigo. Il s'appelle Rodrigo. Or, her name is Christina. So you'd say, elle s'appelle Christina. And the same way I've explained, if you were to ask, let's say I was introducing myself and I was asking, the person I'm asking their name is somebody I respect, then I would simply say, je m'appelle Vitalis. Et vous? Instead of et toi, I would say, et vous? Vous vous appelez comment? Now this is to a person that I respect. For example, you are at the reception of some office and a visitor comes. You would not refer to them as tu or toi. You would say vous. So you'd say, je m'appelle Vitalis. Et vous? Vous vous appelez comment? So I hope this is useful for you to be able to introduce yourself. Now you should be able to say your name and ask somebody about their name. I hope you found this very interesting today. You have learned one very important thing, one very crucial thing, and that is to say what your name is. So once you're through with this video, move to the next part of this lesson and see you in the next video.